Welcome back, everyone, to Mystic by Colette, the channel dedicated to helping you empower yourself, rewrite your story, and claim your I Am. My name is Colette Mesdag, and I am an intuitive guide, and I'm also the creator of the Mystic Empowerment Card Series. Our topic today comes from a young lady who is a client of mine, and Stephanie wanted to know in her session, what should I do? And I thought that would be a really good topic for general card reading, because we quite often have a lot of shoulds in our lives. And I think it's, it's a talk that I do, so, about shedding the shoulds. And I thought a card reading around that subject would be a good idea. So we're going to get right to the card reading and we'll go from there. All right, so we're set for this week's reading, and the 3 cards from the 3 different decks are ready to go. So I've got my Mystic Bliss card for change and transformation, and the card from the Mystic Journey, which is healing and nurturing. And of course, we have the Men of Magic for action awareness, because once we know where we're going, what we need to do for healing, we need to know the next step. And I've included a feather because I think the topic, what should I do, can be very heavy for a lot of people. And I've chosen the feather to represent lightness and freedom. So as an example, if you are focusing on what you should do, life's purpose, take yourself more lightly. Relax a little. It shouldn't be very difficult to figure out what's going to give you bliss. All right, so first of all, let's pull the first card. I Am Love. From the Mystic Bliss deck, we've got the I Am Love and the only answer and natural state, which is interesting. So, because I think it does tend to fall into the category of if you're doing what you love, that's all that's important. Yes, society wants us to have a certain standard of living and certain expectations, of course, but love what you do and things will find some balance. So the topic this week, of course, as I've mentioned already, came because of a client who sat in front of me and asked, what should I do? And of course, I'm going to say the same thing here as I said to her, is there's no such thing as should. You do what gives you joy. You do what you love. And when you are love, when you are in a state of love, and when you are doing what you love, things will flow with ease. You'll intuitively know which directions to go in next. Speaking of next, from the Journey deck is I'm Whimsical. Ties in beautifully with the I Am Love card because we do have to have a certain amount of whimsy, fantasy, exploration, desire for a higher understanding of what's going to bring us to our fullness. And that comes from thinking creatively, from being whimsical, the fairy tales to a certain extent, but more so allowing yourself to be creative and thinking from the creative sense of things. I didn't mention the horse in the I Am Love, so I'm going to do that right now. When you have a companion in one of my cards, any of the Mystic deck cards, should there be a companion of any kind, it usually means that this is what you can lean on, a support group. And so that could be your information from education. I know I've said this before. So it could be education, it could be the people around you, it could be your family, it could be your tribe. Could be a coach or a tutor, but the point is, once you decide where you're going or what you would like to do, and you're looking for what should I do, keep in mind that you can ask opinions of others. If it feels right, go with it. Okay, so we'll continue on here. There's a second companion. In a sense, I very rarely mention the dove in here. And, the symbol of the bird, back to the feather, which is interesting, It really does speak about being lighter in your approach to things, seeing freedom and taking off. So let go of the stuff that weighs you down. So decision making isn't always easy, I know. But when you are doing things along your path that you enjoy, and you can see a bigger picture of yourself standing in your joy, in what you love, then you have a lighter feeling, a lighter energy. The mask in this image is also indicating to not having to explain or show everything to everyone. You are allowed to just be a little bit mysterious and keeping things to yourself while you explore where you're going with this. In your purpose in life, in your career, education, whatever it is, you don't have to share it with everybody. You can withhold some of that information. The other aspect of the mask is, of course, going within, looking within, not always looking outside or worrying about how you look from the outside. Okay? Okay. Our third card is the I Am Seeking from the Mystic Men of Magic. And from the Magic deck, as I've mentioned before, there are several archetypes. And these archetypes are representations of different energies and characteristics or even reactions. So in this particular case, we're looking at one of the pirates, and he is in the east. And with regards to the eastern direction, we are speaking about imagination, creativity, thought. Actually, that's interesting because I didn't mention the maiden category of air, and as far as the element here, which is also about thought, creativity, imagination. So it all ties in. When you are asking yourself, what should I do? Check in with your thoughts. Check in with your creativity. Check in with your intuition. And this is crucial for finding the path that's going to suit you at your 100%. I think what I'm trying to say there, for all intent and purpose, it is about trusting your intuition. Absolutely. So action-wise, seek, check in, look within. The X is not always obvious. So we're going to talk about a little bit of pirate themes here. So X doesn't always mark the spot. The map isn't always obvious. Be able to look around and try this direction, try that direction. You'll find the right spot. The other element about the seeking card, if you do have the guidebook, you'll notice that I also speak about this card in relationship to finding a safe haven and or a safe place to guard your dreams until the timing is right to bring them into public view. So that's another thing. When you are checking out different directions, keep in mind that it's okay for you to not share. Again, very similar to the mask. You don't have to share everything. And you can keep some information to yourself until you have it fully realized or understand a little bit more the direction that you feel the most comfortable with. If there's some trusted people that you want to bounce ideas off of course do so. But don't allow yourself to be distracted by the opinions that are completely based on somebody else's desires rather than your own. If they're not looking out for your best interest, they're not the best people to ask advice from. So let's wrap this up. Love what you're doing. Be creative and whimsical. Fantasize a little bit. Allow yourself to explore options. And when you are seeking, it's okay to hold back some of that information and look where you may not have thought to look before. What should I do? The answer to that is go within. Look at your heart. Trust your instincts. Now we'll go back to the other camera and we'll speak a little bit more about the cards, and we'll go from there. Well, I personally enjoyed doing that reading because I got a lot out of it myself. I hope you found the same. So I'm going to pull up the cards and briefly review them again, just so that you have a chance to consider some of the elements that you may not have seen in the original reading. So first of all, we had I Am Love from the Bliss deck. And we spoke a little bit about the companion, leaning on the things and people that are helping you along your journey, getting from point A to point B. Around the shoulds, of course, I mean, we're going to have a lot of people who have opinions, but the most important opinion, as I mentioned already in the reading, is your own. So please consider that your companion could be your higher self as well. So don't forget that. And of course, love what you do. Do more of what you love. Our second card was from the Mystic Journey deck. This is the Healing and Nurturing deck. And Whimsical is, again, as I mentioned in the reading, very important to keeping your imagination alive, not restricting yourself. The shoulds are very, very restrictive. However, if you allow your imagination to roam a little bit, be whimsical, think of the things that would really make you happy. Don't limit yourself. Be as far-fetched in your ideas, because I think it's the saying goes, if you reach for the stars, you'll at least, get to the clouds. I forget how that goes, but I think it's important to dream. It's important to think big. It's important to have an inner knowing as to what would be pleasant and lovely and fanciful for you. So that's the I Am Whimsical card. And then, of course, from the Men of Magic series, we have the Pirate in the Seeking card. I am seeking. I forget what direction he was. He's in the east. Of course, that's the area of thoughts, ideas, dreams, and imagination, which ties into the Whimsical card perfectly here. And when we are seeking, look beyond what you know. Look beyond what other people know even. So even if you have all kinds of education and information and book information or whatever it is, be sure that you seek more, seek beyond what is known. I'm pretty sure that if some of the great inventors in our history had been told, well, that's not been done before, therefore it can't be done, had listened to that, they would have stopped seeking. And if they had stopped seeking, we wouldn't have some of the wonderful things we have today. And in fact, I think that is the whole premise of what should you do, is what do you want to do? What do you see yourself doing? And seek those answers within yourself. Ignore the shoulds that come from community, society, even from your mentors, because they're only meant to give you a broader horizon than what you already know. And then it's up to you to do whatever you wish to do with that. Before I finish up today's reading, I want to remind you that our themes do come from suggestions or inspiration from sessions that I have. But if you do have a suggestion, comment below, subscribe, share, all that stuff so that more and more people can benefit from these readings. And if I've got some additional suggestions, it helps broaden the topic, because there's a lot of things I may not even think about bringing up in a reading. The other thing I would like to mention is over the next few months, I am going to be doing a lot of workshops and shows. So if you are interested in finding out more about some of the areas that I'm going to be speaking, what topics and so on, do go to the website and check out the events page. On a final note for this week, I do want to remind everybody that you are able to hire me for a card reading. And the additional way to get a message from me on a regular basis is through the membership of the Card of the Month. And that is being renewed right now for the 2019 season. If you book early, you get a couple of extra messages, because the earlier you I'll add you to the list as soon as you register. So there's information about that also on the website. Again, thank you for joining me this week. I look forward to doing these for you. If you have any questions, please email me or comment below, and we can go from there. Thanks again. See you next week, guys.